What is going on, Misfit Nation? Welcome to another episode of the Misfit Wrestling Podcast. I am your host, Matt the Misfit. Tonight, we're going to go over the final episode of a SmackDown Live before Sands of Time. And to me, this was a giant waste of time of 2 hours that I probably will never get back. But we're going to go over it anyways. If you like what you see here, hit the subscribe button, comment down below. Look for the other social medias, Misfit Podcast TV on Twitter, Misfit Wrestling Pod on Instagram. You can also find me on other social media outlets or whatever. Spotify, Audible, Pandora, Amazon. All the links are going to be down in the description down below. It's whatever. Let's just talk about the rest of the show here. The show was not very good, in my opinion. It did not make me that much excited for Night of Champions. If you guys aren't aware, I'm still not going to be covering Night of Champions tomorrow. My show, my review is going to be Flashing Champions, STARDOM's event, which will probably go up later on that night. When everything's settled down here. I will also be doing a little preview and predictions of that show. What I think is going to happen on that show. That's going to be happening in a couple hours here, and maybe in like two and a half hours, something like that. The show's going to be taking place. But let's talk about SmackDown. The SmackDown show opened up with Austin Theory defeating Sheamus, I think, for the United States Championship. This match was not very good, in my opinion, because Austin Theory, to me, is a boring motherfucking wrestler. And he has not done jack shit since winning his match with John Cena, and John Cena has been proven right. He is boring, he's uninteresting, and I just don't care about him or the championship that he's holding right now. So this was not very good. Distraction finish, because they are going to go ahead with putting Austin Theory with Pretty Deadly, because that's what you need to do with the fucking NXT talent. Put them with fucking other people. I didn't care about this. I want to see Butch do so. I want to see Butch / Pete Dunne do something else. I want to see Sheamus go on to be doing something else. I want Austin Theory to be arrested. And I want Pretty Deadly to be doing something else completely. This was a giant waste of time. Another thing that was a giant waste of time is this whole Roman Reigns bullshit. I don't give a fuck about this 1,000 day celebration thing next week. It doesn't matter to me. So I don't care about this program anymore. I just I'm Jimmy Uso expresses his frustrations with what's going on here. I also am expressing my frustrations with this stupid storyline. Next up, another match I don't give a shit about outside the small little thing that's still continuing the whole thing with the damage control split. Raquel and Shotzi, two of the worst wrestlers in my opinion, beat two of the best wrestlers in the world. One when she wants to be, and IYO SKY. This was only to further the teasing of the split between these two. Dakota Kai, who obviously is not here due to her torn ACL. She'll be out for the rest of the year. Probably won't be back until. Thankfully, this is a weird thing to say. Thankfully, it happened here, and she might be back in time for the Royal Rumble. Because had this happened around SummerSlam, or after SummerSlam, or around Survivor Series, she would have missed WrestleMania, and she would have missed the Royal Rumble. Thankfully, it happened here instead of then. So, but Dakota Kai, not Dakota Kai, IYO, I guess was trying to do something, missed, caused Bayley to get pinned. I'm already getting tired of talking about this show, and that was it there, furthering this split here with IYO SKY going babyface and probably getting into Money in the Bank, which to me she should win. But that's neither here nor there. We'll talk about that when we get here. they'll go the reruns with the sit down interviews with Seth Rollins, with Corey Graves. Hyping up the championship match tomorrow between Seth Rollins and AJ Styles. We've seen Shit Row come out next. They get destroyed by Cameron Grimes. I guess they get destroyed by Cameron Grimes. Ashante the Adonis, which could have been good given the right time, but it was shit, and I didn't care about it because Shit Row is awful. Then we had freaking Baron Foreskin come out. Baron Corbin hits him with the last of days or whatever the fuck he calls it now, and I didn't give a shit about this at all. Next up, we get a video package, another one. Bianca Belair comes out. Oh, it's the repackage of something happened last week with Bianca Belair and whatever, and Asuka. And Bianca Belair comes out here, says some stupid ass shit that no one cares about because they piped in cheers. I guess they piped in cheers. I don't fucking know, but they obviously piped in boos here when Asuka came out. And I think this is kind of funny because during the presser, I eventually watched the presser that they did, and and they did not have Bianca Belair a part of the presser, like there in front of the fans. They had her doing a sit down interview in front of nobody but an interviewer and a TV camera. And I'm sitting here thinking to myself, they know that if they put Asuka and Bianca Belair in the same room together with a rowdy crowd like the Saudis were, Asuka, who got the bigger reaction last time they were here, Asuka would get the bigger reaction over Bianca Belair. WWE knows that they are not going to. I think WWE at this point is aware, even though they just decided to pipe in boos for Asuka on SmackDown tonight. I wish they wouldn't mess with the audio, the sound of the crowd for the show when they're doing tape shows. Asuka would have gotten the cheers. She's gonna get the bigger reaction tomorrow on Night of Champions. It's just how it is. Asuka blindsides Bianca Belair, puts the armbar on here, and I hope she had broken her arm, but probably not. And I hope she doesn't. I hope she just. I really hope Asuka wins tomorrow, because I've heard one title change is being discussed to take place, and I don't know what it is. I'm having a feeling it's going to be the women's title match between Asuka and Belair. I hope so, because Asuka needs to do something. Rick Boogs, LA Knight, another piped in crowd noise with boos. LA Knight gets the win here, gets on the microphone. Says he says they don't want the smoke because the Street Profits are out there for some fucking reason. Some rather get smoked by LA Knight. They're probably gonna set up a fucking tag match on the pay-per-view, the Street Profits and LA Knight versus Rick Boogs or whatever. It's whatever. AJ Styles beats Karrion Kross. Match didn't give a shit. Karrion Kross needs to fucking just not do the big man stuff and actually fucking professional wrestle. I'm gonna knock him a point for the shitty professional wrestling, and then I'm gonna give her an extra point for Scarlett being out there. That's about it. AJ Styles win, whatever. Then we go to AJ Styles saying he's ready to beat Seth Rollins for the championship next week or tomorrow, which should be the main event. It's probably not going to be, but it should be. And become World Heavyweight Champion, which apparently if he wins the title, he's just going to go back over to Monday Night Raw, meaning the draft is completely fucking pointless. Michael Cole runs out the card with Wade Barrett being there, which Wade Barrett's not actually going to be on the show. I don't even know who else is calling out card besides Michael Cole. Then we get a video to recap the stuff with Brock Lesnar and Cody Rhodes for no fucking reason. I don't know why we're recapping a program that's a Monday Night Raw program on SmackDown. I don't get it. Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens come out here for the KO show, whatever. This was all right. I mean, it was an okay segment. The segment got better when the Usos came out there, and they were trying to do whatever. I think early on in the night, Roman didn't want the Usos out there or whatever. Sami and KO got beat up at the end of the show, and Roman held up all 4 titles, meaning he's not winning the championships. He shouldn't, and he better not. I think the Usos are going to turn on the fucking Bloodline, or at least cost Roman and Solo the tag team titles. But that was a boring episode of I almost called it Monday Night Raw, because a boring episode of SmackDown. This is probably going to be the shortest review I've ever done. This is probably going to be the shortest review I've ever done. So let's get into some news here. Fightful Select, there was a show tonight. Impact Wrestling had Resurgence. Tonight, I heard it was a good show. Good for them. But let's get into some contract news here. I'll talk about the contract news now since I've already brought it up. Jordynne Grace is now a free agent. This is coming from Fightful Select. We'll read some other Fightful Select news too while we're at it. Jordynne Grace is finishing up with Impact Wrestling for the time. Fightful Select reported that Jordynne Grace's deal with Impact Wrestling was set to expire in May, and we've confirmed that she's exiting the company for the time being. Grace tells Fightful that she's planning to take time off of pro wrestling to work on outside projects. The contract with Impact actually already expired, and she dropped the Impact Knockouts title to Deonna Purrazzo at Under Siege, which I could have sworn she was already the champion, but whatever. I could have sworn Deonna Purrazzo was already the champion, but never mind. Forget I said that. We can confirm there has been interest in her from higher ups in multiple companies, and there were indie promoters asked if she believes she would return to that realm as well. We've noted that Grace has reached millionaire status with her exclusive page. I believe it is her. I think she has an OnlyFans account. I'm not 100% sure. The 27-year-old Jordynne Grace leaves Impact after 4.5 years, where she became the Impact Knockouts champion, tag team champion, and digital media champion, which is like the 24/7 champion or whatever. She's been wrestling for over a decade, despite her age. Sorry, I didn't mean to hit the microphone there. And recently competed in a bodybuilding tournament and has competed in powerlifting after that. Jordynne Grace told Fightful, "I'll be back somewhere at some point." So, Jordynne Grace, who is actually the wife of former Ring of Honor World Champion Jonathan Gresham. So there's that. Well, we'll see where Jordynne Grace ends up next. Fightful Select portions here. We're going to talk about some things here. Let's talk about Liv Morgan here. WWE sources told Fightful that they expect Liv Morgan to at least be sidelined through the summer. We don't have any further update or further update in the information beyond that. Rumor is it's still rumored to be a rotator cuff tear. But she's going to miss Money in the Bank and most likely miss SummerSlam. So speedy recovery to Liv Morgan, who is going to be on a movie called Queen of the Ring with Charlotte Flair. So she gets to, I guess, film a movie while she's out with an injury here. Let's go on to some other news for Night Champions here before we go on to a little bit of the AEW news that we have here. Several wrestlers who aren't booked for Night Champions still made the trip over to Saudi Arabia. So we've seen videos over the weekend of Omos being there, Karrion Kross, Scarlett, I believe Montez Ford is there, and who else is over there? LA Knight's over there. Rick Boogs is over there. So they're over there. They're not really doing much of that. Anything over there. And whatnot. Let's go through some of the AEW news here as soon as I can pull up something here. If I can pull up some AEW news here about what's going to happen with. We got some Kyle O'Reilly news we're going to go through here. And we're also going to go through some of the, not the most recent stuff, but it's about Forbidden Door as well. We go here. Let's talk about Kyle O'Reilly here. This is from Adam Cole. Adam Cole was on the Barstool Wrestling podcast to discuss his upcoming unsanctioned match on Sunday night with Chris Jericho at Double or Nothing. And he provided an update on one of his best friends, Kyle O'Reilly, who's been out of action since June 2022 with fusion neck surgery. He says this, and I quote, when asked about Kyle O'Reilly, he's doing good. He's in good spirits. He's on the right track. There's nothing that Kyle wants more to do than get back to work. Especially now that Roddy Strong is here and things like that. Again, he's one of the toughest guys I've ever met for sure. Everyone keep their fingers and toes crossed. Kyle's doing awesome. He's seeing great progress, and hopefully we see him very, very soon. So that's some good news on the front of Kyle Bobby Fishy O'Reilly. Kyle Red Dragon O'Reilly. We have an update here on Mark Davis, most recently signed by AEW, the former IWGP World Tag Team Champions of Aussie Open, one half the former World Tag Team Champions in New Japan Pro Wrestling. Mark Davis, who suffered an injury, which caused him and Kyle Fletcher to vacate both their tag team titles. Unfortunately, we know that Kyle Fletcher is the only one good to go because he did have a very, very fun match with Orange Cassidy on Dynamite this week for the AEW International Championship. Wrestling Observer Newsletter reported or noted, I believe this was from Dave Meltzer. I'm not 100% sure here, but he said the injury was never stated, but Davis suffered a torn meniscus and went under arthritic. I can't pronounce these words here. He had knee surgery, so he's going to be out for a while. We'll read on more of this. We were told that they were hoping he'd be back in 4 to 6 weeks. In New Japan, the rules are, and granted, they violate those rules with Carl Anderson as the never openweight champion when he missed an advertised title defense. If that title match is advertised or whatever, the reason the champion doesn't appear, whether it's a leg injury or travel issues, they are stripped of the title, which is to me is kind of stupid in my opinion. I mean if it's like an injury where he has to get surgery and whatnot, that's sure. But because he can't travel is kind of the dumbest shit I've ever heard. But Mike Davis is going to be out for a while. Mark Davis, not Mike Davis. Mark Davis is going to be out for a while. The match that was supposed to take place at Forbidden Door 2 was supposed to be FTR versus Aussie Open for the AEW, either the AEW Tag Team titles or the IWGP Tag Team titles. That is no longer taking place. We don't know when that's going to be taking place. That may not even happen on All Out. Some other news, speaking of Forbidden Door here, before we get into one of the big stories going into Double or Nothing, is how many stars will be missing from AEW who will be missing Forbidden Door event. This is coming from Dave Meltzer, again, from the Wrestling Observer newsletter. And here is what he has here. It looks like Andrade, El Idolo, will be ready for the Collision debut since he booked himself in a match on June 15th in Mexico, an independent date, not with AAA or CMLL. His situation is interesting because last year New Japan wouldn't let him on Forbidden Door because of CMLL. He said he was an AAA wrestler, even though Kenny Omega actually is a former AAA world champion, which is true, and he dropped the title to Vikingo. And is headlining Triple Mania in a title match against, like I mentioned, with Vikingo. Weeks after Forbidden Door, but he is fine only to work Forbidden Door for New Japan in Japan. But for New Japan in Japan, it's a really wording of it's really weird. A lot of AEW guys have worked for AAA and been champions there, like FTR, Sammy Guevara. But there's a list of AEW talent, which I believe would include Bandito, Vikingo, like we mentioned here. I don't know if Vikingo was actually signed by AEW. I have to look that up. Roosh, Commander, Penta, Phoenix, Andrade, Jalistico, and probably others who aren't expected to be allowed on Forbidden Door due to New Japan's strong ties with CMLL. The rules are different if you're Mexican, which is weird. But yeah, so that's the latest on that. I would love to see. Hopefully, Naito is on that show here. I know Naito did. I think Naito did some stuff for New Japan. Not New Japan. Was it play either? I know he did stuff for CMML, but I don't know if he did anything with AAA. Okay, so he did do a little something with AAA last year, but it seems like he did. But I'm hoping that's not the case for Naito, because I'd love to see. I'm still holding out hope for House of Black versus LIJ on that show. I mean, I was talking to one of my friends about this, and I said, wouldn't it be cool to have Naito, Bushi, and no, not Bushi. It's Naito, Shingo, and Takahashi take on Malachi, Buddy, and Brody. Imagine a Destino being turned into Dante's Inferno. That'd be fucking sick. But I'd like to. But that's all I have the news on that here. Another news story I want to bring up is about the AEW Women's World Champion Jamie Hayter. Jamie Hayter. This is from Fightful Select, and we found out during the media call yesterday from Tony Khan. Jamie Hayter is legitimately hurt. Her injuries are legit. She's been battling with whatever her injuries are for the better part of a month now. Fightful's told as of now she is planning to perform at Double or Nothing, but they did an angle on Rampage tonight where she was attacked in the back after Hikaru Shida and Britt Baker defeated Nyla Rose and Marina Shafir, where Tony Storm and the social outcasts, I guess I call them social outcasts, Sumi, they fought, they seemed like they beat up Jamie Hayter in the back here, and I don't know what that means for that. Maybe they might pull that match from the show. I don't know. We'll find out either tomorrow or before Double or Nothing. Lastly, before we get into the Stardom predictions here, previewing predictions here, we're gonna go through stuff about Paige Van Zandt. There's a lot of questions on whether or not she's still with AEW. Does she still want to be with the company if she still wants to be a wrestler? Well, Fightful Select put on here about Paige Van Zandt, if I can find it here. If you haven't seen her, and I haven't seen her, who's asked about who's been asked here. Who's been asked here? It doesn't really tell me who asked this question here, but said she's going to review the match she had with, I don't know who we're talking about here, but as far as Fightful knows, she's still with AEW, but there really hasn't been any creative plans for her right now. So who knows? She seems to be doing a killing on the OnlyFans with doing stuff with something recently with Mandy Rose. So they keep making a killing right now. So then I don't see them having any hurry to come back. And let me see if I can find any other news sources that I can talk about here before I go into my Stardom event here. For those who want to know, you can order the Double or Nothing pay-per-view on YouTube through in the select regions outside of America and Canada. Here we go. The stream. Oh, okay, I made that one part up here. So you can stream it on YouTube through Canada, Mexico, Germany, Italy, France, the UK, and South Korea. So there is that. If you're in the United States, you can order that on your pay-per-view provider or the Bleacher Report app. Or if you want to use the VPN, you can use that. You get NordVPN and find anybody's codes or whatever, and get the pay-per-view that way on Fight TV. There's that. Let's see if we got any other news here before we go on to stuff here, because I want to see. Here we go. Here's one last news story here on the next big show that they got planned, which is AEW's All In event from Wembley Stadium. So here we go. AEW still doesn't know how they will broadcast All In from London, England. This is actually a story that came up from Tony Khan. Tony Khan says this when asked about how fans are going at home will be able to watch All In from Wembley Stadium. It turns out that they aren't quite sure yet how that's going to work. When questioned about the broadcast abilities for All In at Wembley Stadium, Tony Khan mentioned that he can't provide an answer at the moment, as they are still working out on the event solution on and how they will offer it. However, he's expressed confidence that All In is on track to becoming the biggest wrestling event of all time in England, which they've sold almost 80,000 tickets at this point. Fans might get a big announcement about the broadcast for All In plans probably during Double or Nothing, which I would assume that's what's going to happen here, or in weeks leading up to the big event in Wembley Stadium. It's anyone's guess what AEW would do, especially considering the fact that AEW All Out is going to take place the very next week, which is very interesting. They're going to do that. AEW brought a lot of attention to themselves thanks to All In from London. The event has sold incredibly well, and tickets are still moving. At this rate, they might sell out the historic London venue, which is it's not the same venue. Technically, it's the same venue, but it's also technically not. That it's held SummerSlam '92. The old Wembley Stadium was tore down, and it's sort of a new one, but you get the point here. But fans, I'm going to continue to read this article here, but fans in the building might be the only ones seeing the action if they can't figure out how to broadcast the event. And I think what they should do, I think Max should try to somehow offer it live. I don't know how. You're paying, what is it, $15, $14, $15, $17 a month for the service, which before was HBO Max. Try to figure out if you can get a live broadcast up before then, and just put the show on Max. And then that way, if they want to, they can buy the other show for Double or Nothing, or not Double or Nothing, All Out for the very next week. That's what I think. That's what I would do if I was there's that. Something I didn't forget to mention, they announced 2 Money in the Bank qualifying matches next week for SmackDown. We have Lacey Evans taking on Zelina Vega, and LA Knight will be taking on Montez Ford. That's that's two qualifying matches for next week. We also get the Roman Reigns 1,000 Day celebration, which no one gives a shit about at this point. I don't know how many people are going to be in Money in the Bank this year, but we'll find out. Let's go through the preview and predictions for AEW, for Stardom's big event, which is Flashing Champions, which comes on in a couple hours from this video going live on the YouTubes. We got a tag team match. We have Shuri and Sakura Aya. I'm sorry if I mispronounced that name, against Rebel and Enemy, which is Ram Kachow and Micah Ozaki. That's gonna be a tag team match here. You know, I love Shuri, but I also love Ram Kachow, so I'm gonna go with Ram Kachow's team here. I just like seeing more of her. She's great. Like, I don't know much about her though. That's her mystery. She's very mysterious, and I love it. I think her team should just get the win here. I don't know what they're going to do with Shuri next, but there's that. We got a little faction warfare coming up next. We got Stars, Saida, and Momokogo will take on the team of Lady C and Miyu Amazaki from Queen's Quest. Queen's Quest has not been on a bit of a roll lately. You'll see that throughout the night here. You know what? I think Queen's Quest should get some type of win here, and I think this would be a good way to put it here, because I don't think they're going to get a win in the next match I'm talking about here. Right here, I'm going to go Miyu and Lady C for the win here. Hopefully Momokogo is all right. It seems like Momokogo is all right because she's going to be wrestling on the show here. She was supposed to do the last Stardom pay-per-view that they did with the English commentary. She's supposed to be her English is actually very, very good. I saw her do the English an interview or something in New Japan video where she did her whole thing in English, and it was very, very good. And I now understand why she was going to be a part of the English commentary team, which was filled in by Mariah May, who did a fantastic job there filling in for her. And she also was on the New Japan Strong thing. Speaking of that, Mercedes Moné was supposed to win that New Japan Strong Women's title. She broke her ankle, and that caused that whole thing to get this finish need to be changed, and Willow Nightingale won the championship. So there's that. 6-woman tag match. We have Hina and Aphrodite, which is Utami Hayashishita and Saya Kamatani from Queen's Quest, taking on Starlight Kid, Ruka, and Rina from Oedo Tai. I think Oedo Tai is going to get the win here. I know they're not listed as Oedo Tai, but I'm going to call them Oedo Tai because that's what it is. This is a three-woman group from Oedo Tai. This is a subunit of Oedo Tai, because there's just an inner fighting here between mainly going on between Saya and Utami. Utami is missing something. I don't know. It feels like after she lost the red belt, she's just had this internal struggle. And I think if you notice, anytime Saya's not on the screen with Queen's Quest, they're having the time of their lives. So I feel like Saya Kamatani is the problem here in Queen. I think if I'm Utami, I'm kicking Saya out of the group. But I think they're called the young Oedo Tai, but I'm just gonna go with Oedo Tai here. I think Oedo Tai is gonna get the win here for this here. We got an 8-woman tag match. We got Stars taking on Club Venus. Maya Iwatani, Hanan, Hazuki, and Koguma will take on Mariah May, Xena, Jessie, and Miss Walker herself. I'm going to go with Stars here just because I love Maya Iwatani and I love Hazuki. Hazuki, who is getting ready to go on her own to do singles run, which hopefully she gets a good showing in the the 5-star this year. She's still not my pick to win it. I will tell you again, my pick is still Micah. We'll talk about Micah in a little bit. I think Stars is going to get the win here. Because I don't think Club Venus is going to have a very good night tonight. If what I think is going to happen, the main event happens. Micah will be teaming not with DDM. Micah is going to get ready to. This is an interesting matchup here because Micah's going to be teaming with Suzu Suzuki and Mai Sarai, or Sure, something like that. I'm sorry if I apologize if I butcher this name here. They'll be taking on Neo Stardom Army. I'm not even going to try to pronounce these other names here. But I'm saying this is interesting because a couple of weeks ago, we had a show, and I don't remember which show it was, but there's teasing something with Micah and Suzu Suzuki. Micah, who in my opinion is the not the dark horse this year. Micah, in my opinion, is the favorite to win the 5-star Grand Prix this year. She's had this new attitude since the Himeka retirement match that she had, which was a fantastic match, by the way. If you haven't watched her match with Himeka at All-Star Grand Queendom. Yeah, All-Star Grand Queendom. Fantastic match. I would, if I was you guys, I would go back all your way and go and watch that match. But it seems like they're teasing a new faction here that Micah's going to become the leader of, which I'm all for Micah doing something of a note. Her being a leader of her own group, and her getting the push that she rightfully fucking deserves. And I'm going to go with Micah and her group with Suzu Suzuki. I think they're going to get the win here. High-speed title match here. This is basically Asuka taking on. This is basically like a handicap match, but it's a triple threat match with the ISP championship. She's going to be defending the championship. One of my absolute favorite wrestler on the planet right now, Azumi, will be defending her ISP championship against Saki Kashima, the master of 1,000 pins, and Death Yamasan, or Fukijin Death, whatever you want to call her. To me, I don't know how this one's a tough one here because, like, I personally think Azumi is ready to go on to bigger things. I think she is, even though she's 20 years old, I think she's ready to go up the ladder into that world of Stardom, Wonder of Star. Well, maybe not the World of Stardom yet. Give her that run with this Wonder of Stardom Championship, and I think that would be great to see. I feel like they may put the title on Saki Kashima here, just because. And Saki Kashima is great. I love Saki Kashima. She's the, as Meerkat Ultra will put it, the little evil demon of cuteness is what he refers her to as, and I love that nickname. Will she be used the Kishi Kaise to get the win here? I don't know. But unfortunately, this is hard. I personally think Fukujin is in this match to take the pin. That's what I think is in here. Now, I feel bad that I said this during the, oh God, what was the New Japan show that had the incredible triple threat between Hazuki, Mercedes, and Azumi? What was the name of the show? Was that Sakura Genesis? I think it was Sakura Genesis. And I sadly thought that Hazuki was only in this match to take the pin because I didn't think they were gonna have Azumi take them against that because they would want to protect her going into the match she had with Starlight Kid. I think this was before the Starlight Kid rematch. I think. Don't quote me on that. But you know what? I'm gonna go with Azumi retaining here. I know this is kind of that one was a tough one between Saki Kashima and Azumi. I'm gonna go with Azumi here. They get the retain here or whatever. Goddess of Stardom tag team titles are on the line. The New Era, Amy Sarai and Mirai will be defending their titles against Natsuko Tora and the Black Peach Momo Watanabe. I think, this is tough because I think Mirai just won I'm pretty sure, she just won the Cinderella tournament. And I don't know if she needs the Goddess of Stardom tag titles. Oh, man. So, you know what? I'm going to go with a title change here. First title change of the night, in my opinion. I'm going to go with Natsuko Tora and Momo Watanabe. I think Momo needs to be doing something right now. She's kind of lost right now. And they need to be doing more with her. Eventually, I don't know if Momo's ever won the world title before. I can go look. I know she has had one of the best runs of the World Stardom Championship. She had a hell of a fucking run with that title. No, she's never won the World of Stardom title. She's won the Cinderella Championship tournament in 2018, and then she won the Tag League with Utami Aishishida in 2018, and then again in 2020 with Azumi. But outside of other tournaments, that's it. And like I said, the other titles she's won Artist of Stardom title multiple times, 3 times. Once with one of them with Azumi and Utami, then again with Hazuki and IYO Shirai, or IYO Sky, what you want to call her now. Then most recently, it's technically is most recently here with Saki Kashima and Starlight Kid. So I'm gonna go with Natsuko and Momo here. I feel like, I don't know, I just feel like they might just put the titles on them, given that Mirai is probably going to challenge for Mayu Iwatani's IWGP Women's title. That's what I just think here. Our Stardom Tag Team titles are on the line here. Our Trios titles are on the line here. Natsupoi, Kairi Hojo, and Sori Anoni. I'm not going to pronounce her name because I'm going to fuck it up. We'll take on Julia, Thekla, and Mai Sakurai from Donna Del Mondo. This is a tough one here, too. And we're going to get to see Kairi and Julia finally tangle it up here. This is interesting, too, because Natsupoi was a member of Donna Del Mondo originally, if you guys know about the history there. Donna Del Mondo. She joined Donna Del Mondo in October 2020. She left in 2022 to join Cosmic Angels and Tam Nakano. Currently, the members of Donna Del Mondo is Julia, and Michael, who are the founding members of the group. Thekla and Mai Sakurai, of course, Himega. She retired earlier a few weeks ago. Actually, she retired. This is a little tough here. I don't know. Kairi just won these titles. This is Kairi's, I believe, her 5th reign as the champion. Let me look here. I think it's her 5th reign as the champion. It is her 5th. Yeah, because Io's held it more. So Io's she's just short behind IYO Shirai, who's won it 6. As an individually, as a team, it's mostly Queen's Quest, but individually is IYO SKY, IYO Shirai. But I don't think they're going to take the titles off Kairi and the rest of Restart here. So I think Restart are going to retain here. Main event, winner take all for both the World Stardom and Winter Stardom Championship. World Stardom champion Tam Nakano, leader of Cosmic Angels, taking on the leader of Club Venus, Mina Shirakawa, the Winter Stardom champion. This one I think is going to go. I think this is going to be a time limit draw. I think this is I just cannot see Rosie Ogawa doing putting both titles on one individual here, because I think we cannot do the whole Roman Reigns thing here with this entire thing. I know Tama said she's not unifying the titles, and I don't know what Mina's plans are with those. But I think if you just do the time limited draw, and then you can set up whoever's next in line, and then when Micah wins the 5-star, she can challenge for either Tam. To me, if I'm booking this, Micah wins the 5-star, and then goes after the woman who beat one of her best friends, and Julia, to win the World of Stardom title. I think Micah is ready for the World of Stardom title. The person I think should beat Mina for the Winter of Stardom Championship is Hazuki. That's who I think that should be. Here's that now. There's every chance and very good chance here that they could put Kyrie, because Kyrie has said most recently on social media that she does not want to be just the part-timer. She wants to do more dates for Stardom, wants to wrestle more. So, and I said, nothing is really stopping this woman from entering the 5-star Grand Prix. And if she's in the 5-star Grand Prix, there's a very good chance that she wins it. And if she wins it, I can see her, because she was eyeballing Tam and the World of Stardom Championship, because Kyrie, believe it or not, I think she's a one-time champion. I think she's a 2-time champion. Let me look here. No, she's a 1-time champion. That's right. Io Shirai. I was thinking of Io. She's actually won the championship more times than she's world. Who's won it more? Is it Io? Yeah. Okay. Io and Mayu are tied with 2 reigns each. So yeah, that makes sense. But yeah, I'm gonna go with I must have a double count out. A time limit draw here. I think that's going to happen here, and I don't know how the show is going to end, but I think that's going to happen here. But yeah, that's my preview and predictions for Flashing Champions. Hope you guys enjoy that show. I will review that show later on in the day, sometime after Night of Champions. Maybe later on that night, so I could actually have some, thought process into what I saw. And not hopefully get pissed off at Rossio Gallo, or Triple H, or Vince, whoever the fuck is going to book tomorrow night's show. But yeah, I've been Matt the Misfit. That's been the SmackDown review. A little bit of the news I decided to put in there, and the the preview and predictions for Flashing Champions. If you haven't seen my other reviews, the Raw review, which went over the predictions for Sands of Time, which I'm going to call it. That is also on the channel. And also the Dynamite review, which goes over preview and predictions for Double or Nothing. All right, so I will see you guys back here tomorrow for Flashing Champions review, Stardom, and then I will see you guys then again on Sunday for AEW Double or Nothing. Until then, I've been Matt the Misfit. This has been the Misfit Wrestling Podcast. We're out.